Welcome back to Yoki's Kitchen. Today we're having fried parrotfish, peas and rice, and sweet plantains. Come join me while I chef it up. So what you're going to need to complete this dish, now you know this is Yoki's Kitchen, not the perfect kitchen. If I forget something along the way, I will bring it I'll bring it to your attention. So obviously you're going to need parrotfish. Now this fish here is a beautiful, beautiful fish, as you can see. My very first time having this was in Jamaica. My good friend Rick, he steamed it, but I've never had it fried. Now this fish is a very thick, flaky, it's almost like a firm fish, so I am sure frying it, it's not going to be like that, you would say slimy. You know how some fish that you fry, the flesh becomes slimy, but because this is so firm, I don't think I'm going to experience that fishing. Now, why they call it parrotfish, when we get to cleaning it, I'm going to show you what I think the reason why they call it parrotfish. All right, now for your obviously to fry, you're going to need some oil, and you're also going to need a batter, or you can actually season your flour if you choose to go ahead and fry your fish. Now what I am going to clean my fish with is sour oranges, and this is how it looks. Now these are family to what your regular orange is, but these are bitter, so these has a very lemony, almost lemon lime orange I would say combination that makes these sour oranges. Now these are very, very popular here in Florida. All right, so for your rice, you're going to need some bay leaves, you're going to need some thyme. I also have some fresh thyme that I dried out for myself. I am going to use both of them because I also like to see the sprigs in my rice. You're going to need some kitchen bouquet or a browning of your choice, or if you know how to make your browning homemade, you're more than welcome to do so. You're going to need some garlic, whatever it is that you want to season your rice with. We're going to use garlic powder, onion powder. We're going to need some salt. I also have a half a packet of chicken bouillon that we're going to use, and some black pepper. You're also going to need some peas. Now, gandules verde, whatever it is that you want. This one in particular is in coco. So this is your green pigeon peas in coconut milk. Coconut milk, in my opinion, is what makes the rice. You can get the regular pigeon peas without the coconut milk and just, kind of add that in place of your water, or kind of one part with your coconut milk, whatever it is that you choose. You're going to need some rice. Parboiled rice is what I use because I do like that flakiness in my rice. You're going to need some onion, red pepper, green pepper, and peppers of your choice. These are habaneros. I couldn't find no Scotch bonnets, but we're going to use these. Now, if you buy them in quantity like this, you can always freeze them and keep it good. You're also going to need some, as you can see, this was in the freezer, some tomato paste. Y'all do not leave y'all tomato paste in the can. That is poisoning. Put it in a Ziploc bag, put it in the freezer, and just use it as you need it. You're also going to need some salt pork. Now you can use salt pork, you can use bacon. If you don't use either, or you don't want either one of the two, just have something. I mean, it's not necessary or it's not needed. It won't make or break your recipe, but for me, I like the flavor of that. And I also have some rendered bacon fat here that I've rendered off of some bacon that I cooked. And this is also going to kind of play the part of the oil in my rice when I fry down my vegetables. All right, so we know what and plantains. Now, these are green plantains that have ripened. The blacker you can find them, the sweeter they are. So if I would have left this maybe for another week, they would have completely been black, and that would have given me that sweet plantain. Very, very good. So if they're turning black on you, do not throw them away. They're not bad. Now, these are not bananas. These are plantains. So you can keep them and just fry them down. I'll show you how to do that. So we know what we are. We know what we're doing. We know what we need. So let's head to the sink and wash up this fish. Okay, so these fish have already been scaled. So I'm just going to wash them up really quick. And I am going to use my sour oranges to do so. If I can get these gloves on fast enough. All right, so we're just gonna get some fresh water. And cut up our sour oranges. Okay, so this is our fish. And as you can see, it's already been scaled. This is why I think they call it a parrotfish. You see, it almost has like a beak, like a parrot. See that? All right, so we got our sour oranges. We're gonna squeeze that in there. And we are going to rub and get this all nice and clean. I got our fish all cleaned. I did remove the head. We removed all of the fins and the tail and all that stuff on here. And we did score it and make sure it was nice and clean. So while we wait for our grease to warm up, let's go ahead and make some rice. Now, to our pot. This is my rice pot. Y'all don't talk about my rice pot. We're gonna add in our bacon grease. So this is just rendered bacon fat that I have from just cooking bacon in the morning. Do not throw that away. This goes a long way, and this is a lot of flavor in here. So this is going to act as the oil for our rice, as well as when we start to build those flavors. All right, let's get this melted down. And in the same grease, we are going to start our salt pork. So I just cut it up into cubes. Make sure you rinse this off because this is salty and you don't want all of that extra salt when you are making your rice. I want to get my salt pork just a little bit crispy, like almost on the crispier side when it starts to turn brown. And once that happens, then we'll start adding in our vegetables. This will definitely pop the hell out of you, so keep stirring and get your protection. All right, so we have our salt pork a little browned, and we are going to add our quarter green pepper. We're gonna add our quarter red pepper. I'm gonna add my half an onion. I like to see my vegetables in my rice. And this other little piece, or that little bit left, is half. And we are just going to cook this down before we add our tomato paste. Okay, so see how the onions are almost translucent? Just keep stirring. Before you add your tomato paste, we're gonna add our garlic in last, because I don't want that to burn. Okay, so I am going to get a heaping tablespoon of tomato paste, and I am going to add that to my veggies and let that dry out. So this is how we should look dried out. At this point, I am going to add some garlic. A nice heaping teaspoon of garlic. I am going to start to season my veggies. We're gonna add a little bit of dry thyme. some salt, some onion powder, some garlic powder, and some black pepper. Ouch. Keep stirring. Before I add my rice, I am just going to kind of just cook down and finish my my base before I add my water and my rice. So we got our peas in coconut milk. Get that out. Give that a stir. I am going to add my kitchen bouquet, which is going to give me some color. Don't give me no white peas and rice. So keep gauging it until it's nice and brown, or as dark as you would like it. Ooh, keep still. Okay. And we are going to bring this back up to not a rumbling boil, but just, well, no. I'll tell you what, let's go ahead and put in our rice. So we got some washed, 2 cups of washed parboiled rice. Now you can do this after you add the water, but I like to kind of coat my rice with all of these flavors before I get that water involved. Add a stir. So at this point, we are going to add our water to our rice. So we got 2 cups of rice, and we're going to put 4 cups of water. And 4. Give this a stir and let it come up to a boil before we cover it up. Now let's go ahead and season this. Make sure that your flavors are right. We're going to put a half a pack of chicken bouillon. Your choice, you don't have to. Stir. Now remember, we put a little bit of salt earlier. And just give it a taste. I taste it, and it definitely needs a little bit more black pepper and a little bit more salt. So I'm going to add some more pepper, a little bit of salt. I'm going to add my bay leaf. Put 2. My spring of thyme. Just a couple springs. Oh. And my pepper. And we are going to wait for this to boil. Let's get a different color from the rice. Give this a stir, and we're just going to leave this to boil before we cover it up. Let's season our fish. So while we get while we're waiting on our rice, let's season this fish. I'm not going to put anything besides this fish fry because it's salty. And here we have our pieces of fish. Stand that up really quick. Okay. Just season it generously on both sides. have at it. And just coat it nicely in and out. And make sure you pack it in there so that you don't lose it when you put it into the grease. Beautiful fish. Look at that. Got it nice and coated. Make sure you get it all. Dust off some excess, and we're going to add it to our grease. Same for the second piece. Beautiful. My rice is boiling. We're going to give it a final stir before we cover this up. Make sure everything is incorporated. I am going to put my foil paper on to hold in some of that steam. And we are going to let this go for about 12 minutes. All right, so let's get this fish flipped. Oh, that looks good. Nice and pretty. All right, so our fish is done. Look how beautiful that is. Try to show you. I did let it go a little bit longer because it's so thick, and I want to make sure that is cooked thoroughly. I'm going to put it on a wire rack so that we can keep our crisp on our fish. Try to drain as much of that oil as possible. Look at that. Let's make some plantains. All right, so let's fry some plantains. Very simple. You're just going to cut off your ends. I wish these were just a little bit more riper, but it's okay. Riper, is that a word? A little bit more ripe. All right, so just cut off the ends, and then you're just going to run your knife down the belly of the plantain, and you're going to remove that skin, like so. Do that for both. Fish look good, huh? Okay, now there's no right or wrong way. However you choose to slice your plantains, you are more than welcome to. If you want to make them round, if you want to make them long, if you want to make them whatever, it doesn't matter. Just slice it to your liking. I like to slice them this way, so when I put them in the grease, they can kind of be submerged and cook evenly. So just angle your knife and just keep going. Add your plantains to your oil. You're just gonna let them brown and caramelize. You'll know when it's time to take them out. See how they're caramelized? So as you kind of touch them, they're going to be a little bit sticky. So we're going to give them a few more minutes, and we're going to take them out and put them on the rack. Last batch of plantains. take these out, and we're gonna take a peek at our rice. Let's look at this rice. We got our fish done, we got our plantains done, and let's have the big reveal on this rice. People ask me, well, Yoke, why do you use foil paper on your pot when you're cooking your rice? To kind of lock in that steam. So that is why I use foil paper. Because you would lose a lot of steam with just your pot top. All right, so let's dish up some rice. It's very, very hot. I relatively would have let some steam escape from this rice before I would have actually touched that. Let's get us a couple pieces of plantain. And a piece of fish. So this is parrot fish. I gotta put this down. How good does that look? Look at this fish. I'm just gonna break this fish open so that you can see how beautiful white fish that is. Very nice and thick. Look off. Look at that. That is nice. The fish fry is just enough seasoning to where you don't lose the flavor of the fish. Oh, this might be mine from now on go-to fish. Wow. Get some of this peas and rice. Oh, that's the stem from the pepper. Oh my goodness. That would have been good. My peas and rice. They're scorching hot. And the plantain. Everything goes together so well, but this fish is definitely the star of this meal. I told you I had it stewed, but fried is even better. And I'm gonna tell you again, this is good. Not because I cook it, but this is good. So Yoke Gang, what did y'all think? What did y'all see? I'm gonna ask you, how did y'all feel about my peas and rice, fried parrot fish, and my sweet plantains? Let me know, drop that in the comments. What else would you like to see me cook? Let's talk about it. Thank you so much for joining me on this episode of Yoke's Kitchen. Y'all know I love y'all for life.